What's going on, hikers? In today's video, we are talking about 7 gear mistakes that beginner backpackers make. Our mission here is to help you increase your quality of life on trail, so let's rock and roll with it. Number 1, yep, it's what everybody thinks of whenever you're ready to go backpacking. Of course, the backpack. Now, one of the issues that people run into, though, is they get all excited and they're like, let me buy whatever backpack I think is going to be best for me. And then they start collecting their gear, but they run into the issue that their gear doesn't fit inside that backpack. So what I would do if I were you is I would start collecting that gear first. Then you go to the store, you maybe take your gear with you, figure out what volume backpack that you need. Maybe have an associate to help you pack it if they know what they're doing in the backpacking world. Then you can see the volume that's the right fit for you, and you won't make the mistake of having a backpack that doesn't work for you. Let's move on to gear mistake number 2. Now, gear mistake number 2 still involves the backpack. See, this is a Chicken Tramper 45-liter backpack, and it's modded to be a little bit bigger for me. But when I ordered it, I had to order a custom size because not all backpacks are created equal. I know, hard to believe. So some companies, they have a standard fit. Some companies have adjusters that you can raise and lower your shoulder attachment points for your straps. So you're going to get all different types of backpacks, all different fits. You have to find the right fit for you. So not only do you need the right size backpack, but you need the right size backpack for your body. So what I would do is go to any big box store, let them measure you, see what you need. Or if you want to use a cottage company, on their website, oftentimes they do like custom sizing, and it'll tell you how to measure your body with a string and a tape measure, and you'll be good to go. Our third gear mistake still involves what size body you have. Now, me personally, I'm about 6'3" and 210, 220 pounds, depending on the time of year. So I've been shopping for a tent because the issue that you run into is you buy a tent and then you don't fit. Now, that may not be the case for you, but for me, what happens is I will purchase a tent. So this one is a Sea to Summit tent, and I love it. I'm excited to rock it out in the backcountry. But the issue that I run into is the tent says it's long enough online, and then I get the tent, and then what do you know, I'm laying on my sleeping pad and the side starts sloping up, and then all of a sudden the tent goes from long enough to my feet and head touching. Now, the reason that's an issue is if it's a single wall tent, meaning it doesn't have like a mesh inner and then like a rain fly that you can put on, is you get condensation and then your sleeping bag gets wet. That's a big no-no for me. I've dealt with it in the past. I'm sure I'll continue to deal with it. But I purchased this tent because the walls don't really do that as much. And I actually fit a great tent. Now, gear mistake number 3 is the fact that you have to figure out what size tent you need. Now, they make 1-person tents. Those are pretty tight. 2-person, they're not really 2-person. Those are more like 1-person comfortably. And then 3-person, that's kind of the size that my wife and I will take whenever we go out into the backcountry together and we share the tent weight. So make sure for gear mistake number 3, you are shopping for the right size tent for you. Now, if you're wondering where I'm getting all this great gear from, like this tent and many other things that you've seen in past videos, I get them from Backcountrycom. They are today's video sponsor. A huge shout out to Backcountry.com. If you want to shop there, I can help you save some money. Use code JeremiahS15 for 15% off of your first order. Now, the reason why I love Backcountry.com so much is because of all the assortment of gear that they have on their website. And not only that, sometimes I run into the issue of I don't know which gear to buy. I don't know what fits my needs the best. So what I do is I talk to their gearheads. Now, they are available for live chat, and I can chat back and forth with them. Or if you want to call and talk to them on the phone number is on the website, and it's very, very easy to find. Now, whenever you're shopping, they have all kinds of different products, everything from water sports to backpacking, camping, you know, an assortment. And I especially love their recovery. You know, I recently got a massage gun, and that thing has been a game changer. So thank you, Backcountry.com, for sponsoring today's video. Huge shout out to you all. And, you know, if you're going to shop there, remember, use my code JeremiahS15. Save yourself some money. Why not? Has anybody seen my camera? Oh, there you are. Gear mistake number 4 is taking things that you don't need in the backcountry with you. Now, experience is going to be the best teacher here, and I don't want to step on your toes. So if you're somebody that loves taking binoculars and maybe you're a bird watcher or whatever else you do with binoculars, you can take those. It's not black and white. You can take whatever you want into the backcountry with you. That's one of the best things about backpacking. Now myself, maybe I could substitute these out for a monocular and I would only have half the weight. But you'll find that there's all kinds of unnecessary things that you take with you that you don't need. Now, two big examples that'll help you shed a lot of weight are too many clothes. You don't need to change your clothes every day. Just clothes to hike in, clothes to camp in. So 2 sets of clothes would be awesome. And myself, I take some extra socks. You can take an extra pair of underwear if it makes you feel better. Maybe you want to go commando and save even more weight. Another example is too much food. Now, my first backpacking trip, I took 2 full jars of peanut butter. And then I took all this other food that I didn't necessarily need. So whenever you get out there, you'll get your feet under you and you'll walk the miles and you'll figure out, hey, I don't need this, I didn't use it. Maybe even make yourself a list of things that you didn't use. And then whenever you get home, you'll be good to go. You'll be shedding weight in no time. Number 5 on today's list is taking care of your gear. Now, my buddy Lance at Outland, you can see in this clip here that he stored his gear, but one part wasn't dry, and that can create some real issues for you. An example of gear that you haven't let dry before you put it up could be your water filter. It could get all nasty and moldy, or maybe your cook pot. Like my cook pot here, the GSI Soloist Cook Kit. I like to wash it after every trip, you know, even if I only boil water in it. And if I don't let it dry before putting it up, I store my stuff in containers in my gear closet, and those containers, you know, you could drill holes in the lid if you wanted to, just for a little extra ventilation, but you gotta let your gear dry before you store it. Otherwise, you're gonna run into some big issues and you're gonna be spending more money. Our 6th gear mistake today is not backflushing your filter. Now, I have a couple things to add after I show you the backflushing technique. With the Sawyer squeeze, it's super easy. You just pull water into the plunger, and then the end that water would be coming out clean. When you get home, take some clean water and push it back through, and then you'll be good to go. You'll see the water comes out dirty where the dirty water typically goes in. So your flow rate is exactly reverse of what it typically would be when you're filtering. If you have something like the Catadine Bee Free, there's instructions on most of the bags that comes with those. And you basically just have some clean water and then you shake it back and forth, the Bee Free that is, inside of that clean water. So depending on what filter you have, you'll have to figure out the cleaning techniques. Now, I like to backflush this after every trip because I think it helps with the longevity of the filter. I don't want to replace my filter any more than I have to. Let's save some money here. Now, I will add that if you use like straight sink water, that's kind of hard water and it will calcify, I guess, the filter inside. It's microscopic, the holes that the water's going through, and that's how it's kind of cleaning it. So that calcium will build up in there if you're using sink water. So if you want, you could filter some water in the woods and then backflush it while you're out there. Or what I do is, our refrigerator has a filter built in. So I'll just fill up a cup of water from the refrigerator filtered water, and then I will backflush using it. So keep that in mind, that if you use hard water, it can actually hurt the longevity of your filter. Our 7th gear mistake today, we're gonna have to check our ego at the door. Your way's not the only way. My way's not the only way. Our way is not the only way. One of the best things about backpacking, as I said before, is it's not just black and white. There's not one way to do it. You can take whatever you want. You can carry a cooler with you. You can walk a mile in. You can do 20 miles a day and go as ultralight as possible. Do it however you want. Just don't try to push your views on anybody else because they want to do it their way. So the goal of these videos is just to give you ideas and things to think about whenever it comes to backpacking. You don't have to do anything the way myself or anybody else does it. You just get out there and you enjoy the backcountry. Speaking of, if you've enjoyed the video, make sure you give me one of these, subscribe to the channel, and kick the notification bell for the latest notifications. We'll see you in the next one.